Russell back with Gwinnett Lawns in beautiful. Ooh, look at that sky. Atlanta, Georgia. Today is January the 14th, 2023. So the question that I have today for you is the age-old question that we always, I don't know if argue or discuss in lawn care, is do you trim or do you mow first? So I'm going to tell you what I do. I've never made an actual separate video about this. There's two scenarios that I'm going to give you. One is you have a yard that is well maintained. Maybe this is one of your weekly or bi-weekly yards. And the other one is, let's say it's a yard that's new to you that hasn't been maintained very well, or it's overgrown. So we'll take the overgrown one first. So what I do in that situation is I will almost always trim an edge first. Now I use the Echo 2620T with the Edge It Pro on here. So I don't use a dedicated metal blade edger. I do my trimming and edging with that. I use a .130 line with the Speed Feed 450 head, and it's very durable and does an awesome job. Let me tell you why. Well, let me tell you first, my two goals when I go to a property are, number one, to be as efficient as possible, which means I need to get the job done as quickly as possible, and number two, to leave the property with it looking pristine. So when I get to an overgrown yard, or when I haven't done before or needs a lot of help, especially if the grass or weeds are tall, I will trim an edge first. The reason that I do this is because you're going to have a lot of really tall grass clippings from just the fact that you're trimming, and especially up around the house, the foundation, if you've got overgrown edges on the curb or sidewalk or driveway. And what this will do is it will give you an opportunity to basically mulch that stuff up with the mower if you mow afterwards. Now you may have to, depending on how thick and tall the grass or weeds are, you may have to come back with your blower and blow it into the yard so that your mower can get everything. I don't normally do that. I have had to sometime in the past if they were super overgrown. But you better be charging an extra fee to do that if it's that bad. And the other thing is, it also allows me to, especially up against the house, all right, because there are obstacles that you can't see if the weeds or grass is really overgrown, like metal grounding rods for the electricity. There could be, I've seen hoses, hose sprayers, all sorts of stuff that you wouldn't think, pieces of wood, stone, rock, things like that that will cause havoc with your mower if you don't see it first. So it gives you a really good way to make sure that there's not any hazards that you're going to hit with your mower. Okay, that's the first scenario. So in that case, trim and then mow. 99% of the time, I mow first. That's with a regularly maintained yard. Now, the reason that I do this, let me explain you my rationale. It is much easier for me to touch up an area where I may not have gotten close enough with the mower. It's much easier to do that with the string trimmer than if I were to do it the other way, which I'm not saying is wrong. I'm just saying that I've done it both ways, and I found that it's much quicker and much more efficient for me not have to have the possibility of going back to the truck and getting the trimmer or getting the mower. So let's say that I mow first, okay? So everything that's left I'm able to get with the string trimmer. So if I trimmed first, and let's say it was around, I don't know, a planter or a tree or whatever, and I didn't trim quite far enough out to where the mower still can't get everything, then that means I'm gonna have to go back and get the trimmer again, a second time. By mowing first, it allows me to only ensure that if I miss something with the mower, the trimmer is going to be able to get it every time. Because the trimmer is much more, it's much easier to use the trimmer out where the mower would get, you see what I'm saying, than if it was the other way around. And I have found, especially when the yards is in the middle of summer and the Bermuda is growing really, really super fast, that it's very easy to sometimes miss a little, and I'm not talking about a huge area, it may just be a little pie shape where you didn't pay attention enough and you missed it. And of course you can go back and completely get that with the trimmer. So that's why I always, other than an overgrown yard, I always will mow first and then edge and trim. So the question that I have is, what do you guys do? And I would really like to, you know, if you have a different way to do it, I don't know if there's any other, I don't really know. And this is pretty much if you're solo. If you have another person, a helper, if you've got a crew, I would start mowing around the perimeter of the property, and then the trimmer guys, you know, is doing his thing, so we're not colliding in each other. But I've done it both ways. When I had a helper, we mowed first, and we had 2 mowers running. Usually I had one guy take the front yard and one guy take the back, generally, and we did that. And the reason that I carry the trimmer on the trim start here is twofold. Number one, I don't have to go back to the truck, so it saves me a trip and saves time. And number two, if there is a situation where something gets missed, I have the trimmer right there again. Like if I went and trimmed first and then mowed, if I did, for some reason, I was in an area where I really messed up, I still have the trimmer right here, so I don't have to take the walk of shame all the way back to the truck. So anyway, please let me know your thoughts and kind of your thinking and your rationale for whichever one you do first. I'm not saying either way's right or wrong. It kind of depends on the situation, but I really am focused on trying to be super efficient in the business and having the least amount of time spent going to retrieve another piece of equipment. So anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. Give me your thoughts. Let me know what you do, and I will talk to you guys on the next video.